The state of Minnesota that we live in, and these politicians are just walking off thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm
bad doing fine.
Infamous, show us that you're black again.
It's a show us that you're black again. Show us that you're black again.
Bro, I don't need it. Bro, I'm not in a Zoom, man.
Show us that you're black again.
Me like I'm some kind of Zoom animal, man. I'm not gonna dance. I'm not gonna dance.
tired. My people are suffering. I'm scared for my little brother.
Arnold, I got another question. Arnold, I got another question for you. People know about him over here, man. Before they've known about you. For me. Hey, people know about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Teofimo Lopez, for the record, won me my first ever bet when he defeated Lomachenko. That was a huge underdog, as you know it, for the boxing fans that know the history of boxing. Teofimo defeated Lomachenko. And the way boxing goes, ladies and gentlemen, man, that was my first win. So that was 6 years ago? Now he got exposed by Shakur. Shakur Stevenson put him to work. Easy payday. Payday, you want payday? I know that. Now, I was a Teofimo Lopez fan, but the man gave racial slurs. Calling black people monkeys. Yes.
Airheaded human sonic fox.
I got him. Don't worry about it, bro. I got him. Don't worry about it. May 2nd, show up.
Hey, pick up a banana for me.
Hey, don't worry about it, bro. Hey, don't worry about it.
Go pick up a banana for me.
People know about him over here, man. Before they've known about you. Banana for me.
Hey, don't worry about it, bro. Hey, don't worry about it. I got him. Don't worry about it, bro. I got him. Don't worry about it. May 2nd, show up. Show up, and I'm.
It's cool, man. Just ask me the questions.
In the lead up to the fight, you said if they want the black fighters, they can keep them. Why did you say that?
Huh?
Why?
It's just a biased part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it. Because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing others. I believe the commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters.
Off the record.
No, it's not off the record. Keep this off the record.
You wake up, bro.
I don't think any.
Say that. Don't get into that, bro.
Wait, let me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Teofimo Lopez needs to leave his father ASAP. Y'all was watching the fight. His father was telling him crazy as advice, saying that you're going to hate yourself. And I understand where his father's coming from, but I think he has outgrown his father and he needs a new coach in his corner.
I'm not falling into it.
Talk about the fight.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about my. No, then let me
Junior,
let it go. Let me let it go.
Hold up.
Let it be. What are you scared of? Stop being a about it and handle it like a man. Handle it like a man. All of y'all, handle it like a man. That right there, I've been dealing with for a while.
Everything was fine. The sparring sessions were like what motivated me to this fight. That I was 100% sure who was gonna win.
But yet he got outclassed. Your son only won maybe 1-2 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, Teofimo Lopez should have never signed up for this fight. Obviously, the payday made them sign a dotted line, but this is not a great business decision. This exposed Teofimo Lopez, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy work.
For some reason, the game plan, my son didn't do what I told him he was supposed to do. His rhythm was supposed to be.
But you wasn't giving your son any great advice. What was the game plan? Because if you're going to box, you can't box a boxer. You're going to have to make that a street fight. You're gonna have to make it dirty. But you was trying to outbox a boxer. The jab was just flicking. Teofimo Lopez was leaking straight from the jab, keeping Teofimo Lopez extremely honest. Crazy work. And what? Your son got exposed. It was borderline. You should have threw the towel. Throw the damn towel. He was getting ate up from beginning to end. And you're guilty as a bystander, giving your son terrible advice.
Different, where we were supposed to stop Shakur from doing whatever Shakur does best. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to him for winning. You know what I'm saying? But that was not my son in there. You know, I think probably the networks and everybody, the media, everything leading up to this fight, you know, everybody already talking that already about Shakur fighting in May, where the winner was supposed to go and fight in May, you know, against whoever it was. So I think that probably got to him, you know what I'm saying? People talking about me being drunk, all that stuff, you know, when he went to the press conference and I was.
Yo, what kind of excuses are these, ladies and gentlemen? What?
In there, I didn't show up because I was resting, and I think all that affected him in this fight. You know, like a lot of people say, you know, my son is like mentally like easy to you know mess with. And
Yo, Tio, fire your dad ASAP. Even if that statement was true, how are you going to just admit that on camera talking about your son is mentally weak? As a fighter, you cannot, you what? You cannot admit that as a fighter. That, yo, Teofimo, please. I know this is your bloodline. I understand this is your pops, but sometimes you can't mix business with family. You can't mix business with blood because your dad's out here exposing you, talking about my son is weak. He's got influenced by social media, make him feel some type of way because everybody was betting against him and he felt some type of way and he's highly emotional. How is your father going to say that in front of the masses as if this content is not going to last on the internet forever? That's some crazy ass work.
And how you gonna fight? You know, a fight when everybody wants you to lose. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It just looked like all his powers were not there. Like everything was like that we planned, everything that he did in sparring, everything that we planned to do was not there. His power was not there. I was in shock, man. And I think this a lot of this has to do with everybody not wanting him to win. You know what I'm saying? There was not one person.
Yo, that's some crazy ass work. So his father is giving the excuse, Teofimo Lopez Sr., that because everybody was betting against him, that's the reason why he lost. That's some crazy work. Take the L, go back to the drawing boards, go back to 147, because 140, run away from 140. Shakur is the boogeyman at 140.
Person talking good about him, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that has to stop. That has to stop, you know. And in this planet, this world, that's why we have this sport. The best man has to win, you know, and nobody knows who's got to.
Oh yeah, the best man definitely did win. Absolutely. Masterclass performance from beginning to end. But what's crazy work is that throughout the interview, prior to the fight starting, ladies and gentlemen, Teofimo seemed very timid. So I think he just signed up for this fight for the bag because he knew what time it was.
Who's winning unless, you know what I'm saying? You know, the average person could have an opinion, you know what I'm saying? But when you have all the networks saying that my son's going to get his ass whooped, that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the worst L Teofimo Lopez has faced by far now. The name, great on his resume. But let's keep it a bean. After he beat Lomachenko, why did Teofimo lose to George Kambosos. First of all, I never even heard of a George Kambosos. I think he lost to him twice. Then he wants to give the excuse the reason why he lost the first time was because of his shoulder injury. Well, everybody's hurt in boxing. So you lose to a guy named George Kambosos. He wins against a guy named Josh Taylor. Now, that was his biggest win. Really, Josh Taylor? And to keep it a bean, when he was fighting when he was fighting Lomachenko was stagnant the first 6 rounds. He pressed the gas at the back end of the fight, and he had Teofimo Lopez in the back end against the ropes. If there was a couple more rounds, who's to say Lomachenko would still be reigning? Keep it a spade. So Teofimo Lopez's highlight of his career is fighting against Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. But he's struggling to beat a guy named George Kambosos. Really, Devin Haney saw the opportunity. When George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney was licking his chops. He said, who the hell is George Kambosos? I don't care where he resides in the world. I will travel you. I'll go to you. Don't come to me. That's how sweet it was, ladies and gentlemen. Devin Haney said, yo, I'll go to wherever you at, Australia, wherever you at, my guy. Give me that belt. Easy lick. That's a guy who Teofimo Lopez lost to. So from afar, ladies and gentlemen, Shakur Stevenson, unfortunately, has never had a elite high pay-per-view fight. Now, he's an elite fighter, but people was ducking him. Rightfully so. And for some reason, Teofimo Lopez agreed to fight him. That's what I'm trying to comprehend. Why did he agree? Levels, not even close to the level of competition between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. How in the world did he agree? So the bag must have been, yeah, it had to be about the money. That's the only reason why Teofimo Lopez agreed. But prior to the fight, Teofimo Lopez was extremely timid, and Shakur was just cool, calm, and collected, and exposed him, pulled his drawers down, bent him over in the middle of the ring. Pause. Whoa!
You know, that every time my son looks at social media talking bad about him, it's not right. It's not right.
So Teofimo Lopez Sr. is saying that his son is looking at social media. Well, if you're truly focused, why is your son looking at social media? Maybe that's a red flag right there. You see your son getting emotional looking at the haters on social media. Take away his phone. Like, this is a fight. This is not a C+ fighter, D+ fighter. This is an A+ fighter. You got to be locked in. And your son is looking at what critics have to say. Yo, Teofimo Lopez, man, you got to get rid of your father. He did his purpose. He got you, I don't know how many championships underneath your belt. You're extremely accomplished, but I think it's time to move on. It's okay. Plenty of fighters have moved on and came back to their fighters. Even Floyd Mayweather, he left his father. I was surprised. Floyd Mayweather left his father when he came out of prison looking like Alien versus Predator. For the record, why was Floyd Sr. walking around with... I digress. But when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya had the nerve to hire Floyd Mayweather's father in his corner. So Floyd was fighting Oscar De La Hoya and his father was on the opposite side. Can y'all believe that? Crazy work. Even so, Floyd was in disagreement because, to put context into that, ladies and gentlemen, Floyd Sr. is a defensive fighter. And at the time, Floyd was an offense. He was Pretty Boy Floyd, but after receiving punishment, he realized his father's right and he put his father back on his corner. But yeah, you don't have to live and die by the same corner you come into the game with. I think it's time to move around from Teofimo Lopez Sr. respectfully. Look at this crazy take. You can't even speak your mind in an interview.
It's cool, man. Just ask me the questions.
In the lead up to the fight, you said if they want the black fighters, they can keep them. Why did you say that?
Huh?
Why?
It's just a biased part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it. Because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing others. I believe the commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased. to certain fighters. No, it's not off the record. Keep this on the record.
You wake up, bro.
I don't think any.
Say that. Don't get into that, bro.
Wait, let me.
Into this.
I'm not falling into it.
Brothers, talk about the fight.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about
go.
No, then let me
Junior,
let it go.
yo,
Let me let it go.
Hold up.
Let it be. What are you scared of? Stop being a about it and handle it like a man.
That gotta change, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna prepare him. Maybe he's not ready, you know. He's been 5 years without losing. He's defended his 140 weight title and his lenient belt. I think 5 times. I think it is, and you know, I think he's ready to go to 147. You know what I'm saying? That he got beat up, man. That was a headbutt. And
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
My son didn't get beat up, man. He went to 12 rounds.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wait, hold on. Teofimo Lopez Sr. said his son didn't get beat up. This is exactly why you need to get rid of your father as a coach. He can still be a supporter, but put somebody else as your head coach, man. This man is delusional. He just said that he no wonder he got his ass beat. Yo, crazy work. What you mean, bro? This was the highlight of Shakur Stevenson's career. You put him on out of the expense of your son. Shakur Stevenson is now what, 4-time world champion? He had to move up. Ladies and gentlemen, to put stuff into context, Shakur Stevenson moved up in weight class. How's somebody going to move up in weight and dominate like that? What?
Without losing, he's defended his 140 weight title and his lenient belt. I think 5 times. I think it is, and you know, I think he's ready to go to 147. You know what I'm saying? That he got beat up, man. That was a headbutt, and my son didn't get beat up, man. He went.
Your son didn't get beat up. Let's go to the stats. Because men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You only landed 15%. And what's crazy work, ladies and gentlemen, is that he threw more. Teofimo Lopez, he threw more. But he landed way less. He threw 468 punches, only landed 72. That's 15%. That's some crazy work. He was throwing at ghosts. Where's Waldo? Casper, the friendly ghost in this bit.
Trying to laugh with the bros.
Meanwhile, Shakur threw less punches but connected more. Top about efficient, doing less work but did more damage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even a Shakur Stevenson fan, but after this fight, oh yeah, most definitely. Anyone that put their bread on Shakur, congratulations, man. Easy win. Y'all caught a lick. Man, this was the equivalent to a no-hitter in baseball, ladies and gentlemen. A no-hitter, a masterclass performance by Shakur. This was the same level as a no-hitter. Shout out to Crenshaw. Shout out to the baseball players throwing no-hitters. I mean, there's only a few.
I gave it all for fantasy.
The 12 rounds with a good boxer. You know, we were supposed to do different things in there.
I'm going to the comment section. You said Teofimo won 1 round. Yo, if that. And what's crazy work is that, okay, if plan A is not working, right? Obviously, plan A is not working. What was the adjustment? And that's why, Teofimo, you have to fire your father as your coach. Game point A wasn't working, right? So what was plan B, plan C? It was just plan A and that's it? Just get your ass whooped the entire duration of the fight? I be trying to laugh with the bros. Like, you witness your son getting abused, dog walked. His eye was leaking. He's coming out in press conferences, leaked out, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me see if I can find the clip. No, we're gonna have to keep it YouTube friendly, man. That he came out bad, man. And then look, this man had the right to put up the the power. I be trying to laugh with the bros. Yo, he started talking about, I apologize for slavery. What? You witnessed your son get dog walked and you didn't have a plan B, plan C? So once again, everybody has a plan until they get hit, but we have to make adjustments. Not just going to be a bystander seeing your son potentially get deleted. God forbid, but his life is on the line and you're just going to witness a ass beating like that because you're getting attacked by the jab consistently. So something got to shake. You're just going to sit there and just get hit, whoop, 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 leaking all over the place. The referee also should have stopped that fight because his vision was on the line. Nasty cut above the eye.
And that didn't work, and that happens. It happens to anybody, what I'm saying? All the greats have lost and they have come back and they have done great. So, we're here and we're gonna stay. He's still 28 years old. He's still not in his prime, and we're coming back stronger than ever. Next time I think he's ready to go to 147.
What were you saying to him in between rounds to try and get him to change the fight?
What we did in sparring.
That's a great question. What was going on when your son was getting abused all over the ring? What was you telling him to stop getting exposed in front of the masses? Because he's supposed to be the takeover, right? He took down the great Lomachenko. And Shakur Stevenson moved up in weight to fight your son. But yet your son's getting bullied? How does that make sense?
What he was doing in sparring, and for some reason he wasn't doing it, and that's why I was very upset, and I think we hurt Shakur, like I think in the 8th round.
What? You hurt Shakur where? Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
You hurt Shakur? That man didn't even break a sweat. It looked like he was falling out there. And matter of fact, Shakur was smiling the whole fight. Imagine somebody beating your ass smiling in your face. What? I be trying to laugh with the bros. He was smiling from ear to ear. He said post-fight that Teofimo Lopez is slow. He thought he was faster. He exposed Teofimo Lopez. And that is exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, why Teofimo Lopez should get a new coach and dismiss his father as the head coach. And just keep him on the side. It's okay. He could be a supporter from the sideline. You served your purpose. Thank you, Father, for everything you did, all your sacrifices. But obviously, it's time to move around. I can't see. His eyes were... He was coming out looking like Martin from that episode after he fought Tommy Hearns. I be trying to laugh with the bros. And once again, Shakur Stevenson moved up in weight class to fight Teofimo Lopez. So how do you get dog walked by somebody moving up in weight?
And he was hurt for about 2 rounds and he let him come back. The whole plan was not to exchange with him. The whole plan was not to box with him. But I guess, it worked to Shakur's benefit, and congratulations to him and to his team. And we got to move to better things, what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. You know, a lot of great fighters have lost 8 times, and you know, it's not. My son is not 40 years old or 30 or 48 years old, so we still got a lot more to do. You know, go to 147 and fight the best at 147.
One more question for me.
Yeah.
How is Teofimo doing right? How is Teofimo doing right now?
The what?
I care about you. I care about your son. So I'm asking, how is Teofimo doing right now?
Oh, he's doing great. Everything's fine. You know, it's not like he got knocked out or whatever it is. You know,
more so mentally.
Yeah, no, mentally, of course he's going to be all right. He wasn't okay the whole week, you know what I'm saying? I think like for about 2 or 3 weeks he wasn't okay because everybody was talking really bad about him, you know.
Oh, no. If he's soft like that, just retire because you will get seriously hurt if you're affected by social media. Can you imagine? Your life is on the line, but you're more focused on the critics and the naysayers. But your life is on the line. You should be locked in. So focus on your craft, trying to win. But your focus, your attention is dismayed on what people have to say about you. If you're that easily swayed, just retire and be a sports broadcaster. Boxing is nothing to play with. You can play basketball, you can play football, you can play all these other sports. You cannot play boxing. When you go inside the ring, ladies and gentlemen, your life is on the line every single time. It's not promised that you will leave. You cannot play boxing. So if your mind is, once again, easily swayed because of what the next man has to say about you, retire.
No, that's got to stop, you know. And I think that it was a plan that worked, you know, because they know that my son sometimes takes everything serious, you know, and that's.
Even if that is true, how is your father going to expose your weakness like that on camera for the masses? Teofimo Lopez, man, please dismiss your father as your head coach. Because this may be true, but why is he admitting this in front of the camera? This is bait. This is food for your oppressors, for your ops, for your next opponent. And I see some content like this. I'm bringing this up in a press conference. Why is your father talking about you weak-minded and you're feeling some type of way by your critics and it's taking it personal 3-4 weeks prior to the fight? You're feeling some type of way and your father's admitting that? Ladies and gentlemen, I've never heard or seen somebody's father exposing their son's weakness in front of the masses.
Just ask me the questions.
In the lead up to the fight, you said if they want the black fighters, they can keep them. Why did you say that?
Huh?
Why?
It's just a biased part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it. Because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing others. I believe the commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters.
Off the record.
No, it's not off the record. It's off the record.
You wake up, bro.
I don't think any.
Say that. Don't get into that, bro.
Wait, let me.
Fall into this.
I'm not falling into it.
Fellas, talk about the fight.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about mine. No, then let me let it go.
Yo,
let me let it go.
Hold up.
Let it be. What are you scared of?
Why he was talking the way he was talking, the press conference, you know, talking about a lot, you know, bad things and stuff like that. I told him to stop doing that, you know. But when you talk bad about your father, you know, that affects a lot. It affects a kid. It affects like somebody that you love, you know what I'm saying? And that gotta stop, you know. But my son is fine. We're gonna go right now, have something to eat, you know, enjoy ourselves, regroup. And come back. He's the greatest. He's one of the greatest fighters right now in the business. And let's see what happens, you know, in the future and try to get one of the best fights out there.
Respect to you, respect to your son.
He came back, you know, he had a loss. He came back strong. He did great things, and he'll do the same thing again.
Stop the cap. He came back strong. Yo, what fight did his father watch?
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Man, I'm sure as soon as Teo got to the dressing room, he said, you see, this is exactly why I didn't want to fight him, because I knew I couldn't beat him. Shakur Stevenson completely dominated Teofimo Lopez in a masterpiece. He won all but one round on all three scorecards. That's almost unheard of. You know, usually the judges are not in sync. There's always at least one or two judges with a crazy ass scorecard, but not this time. It was such a dominant performance that all three judges had Shakur Stevenson completely dominating Teofimo.
Yo, imagine all three judge on the favor of one fighter. Teofimo Lopez, man. Why did he agree to fight Shakur? To get exposed? This is a very bad look for Teofimo Lopez. I think he bounces back if he can once again get rid of his father as a head coach, because that is not of his best interest. You get hit round after round. What was the game plan? How did you adjust? You just going to keep on getting your draws pulled down to the floor, getting pulled down to the floor, bent over? Pause. You got bent over the entire duration of the fight. And you don't adjust. You don't go to plan B, plan C. Just keep on getting hit by the jab, leaking, looking like the movie Carrie.
Bareheaded human sonic fox.
Lopez. Not only was Shakur standing right in front of Teo's face the entire night, but eventually he started backing up Teofimo Lopez, and he completely.
Oh yeah, someone in the comments said the funniest thing is when that heavyweight rips that rig off. Yeah, let me see if I can play that video, because it was a crazy ass night. Shout out to every single one of y'all in the chat. Do me a favor and let me know that Teofimo Lopez get exposed in the comment section, and who should Teofimo Lopez fight next. Also, subscribe to this platform and hit the bell notification. But yeah, dude got exposed. Let me just remove this video. Just give me 1 second, y'all.
Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, available on the Zone. Jarrell Miller. Can we get the cap off real quick?
Listen, man. In life, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, so this man here, he had a toupee and he got punched in the face, and his toupee got knocked out his head mid-match. Somehow the toupee got into the ring and they was passing his hair around.
Bareheaded human sonic fox.
There was passing his hair around like a blunt. Crazy ass work.
One thing I can tell you is, man, let me tell you something, bro.
Crazy, but we're gonna go back to that content in the later end of this video. Crazy ass work. I want to go to different analysis on content creators on this fight of Shakur Stevenson giving an absolute masterclass performance against Teofimo Lopez. Crazy work.
Busted his face up. But the crazy thing is, he was busting his face up with one punch.
One punch. The jab. The best punch in boxing. His jab wasn't like a machine gun type of jab, but of all the fighters current day, I think Shakur has the best jab in boxing besides Terence Crawford, because he's retired. But Shakur Stevenson, his jab kept Teofimo Lopez honest, and he couldn't do anything with the jab. Everything was leading off from the jab.
The jab. That was the main punch that he was busting his face up with. Every punch he threw was offset by the jab. And those weren't pity-pat jabs. You could tell by looking at Lopez's face. There is no doubt in my mind, Shakur, he could have stopped Teo if he wanted to. but he played it a little too safe. There were moments in the fight where I wanted to see just a little bit of Terrence Crawford from Shakur, because those moments, for example, when Teo would lunge in and he would just throw combinations where all the punches would get blocked. You know, Terrence Crawford, when Canelo did that, Terrence Crawford, he stood there, he blocked the punches, and he returned his own fire and landed all of his shots. And I think if Shakur would have did that in this fight, he would have stopped Shakur. He would have stopped Teo. Teo looked extremely discouraged in the second half of this fight. And this is the reason why Teo never wanted to fight Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, or Shakur Stevenson, or even
Teofimo Lopez, man, talking shit on black fighters, saying that they get all the attention, but when he gets in the ring, he gets exposed, gets his jaws pulled down to the floor. Crazy word.
Keyshawn Davis. A lot of those guys would have stopped him. Leading up to this fight, just like everybody else, I picked.
Oh yeah, y'all don't know that Teofimo Lopez gives racist remarks, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we gotta add context because we can't just say statements without putting the evidence on the table.
Arnold, I got another question. Arnold, I got another question for you. People know about him
over here, man.
before they've known about you.
For me. Hey,
People know.
That's some crazy word. This man said, "Ain't nobody racist over here. Matter of fact, pick up a banana for me." What?
Over here, man.
Before they've known about
banana
you.
For me. Hey,
That's crazy word.
Shakur Stevenson to win the fight, but I said if he could completely dominate him and make it look easy, then he's definitely catapulted to pound for pound top 3, one of the best fighters in the world. In fact, it could be argued that he's even number 1. The only other fighters that step up in competition like this, fight this level of opposition and dominate them and make it look extremely easy, is Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford. Remember, guys, it was Shakur who pushed for this fight. Teo never wanted this fight, but they offered him so much money he couldn't refuse because he was used to not getting paid too much. So I really feel Teo, he did not go into this fight with a whole lot of confidence. He was looking at this as, look, win, lose, or draw, I'm getting a big ass check. And that big ass check came with a big ass L. So it's most likely all downhill from this point when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. Once again, I believe, just like Canelo is going to be fed to dangerous opponents by Turki Al-Sheikh,
Top notch TMZ says, regardless of what nonsense they said to each other, bro, you have to realize he had the guts to step in the ring and fight. So respect to Teofimo Lopez for signing the contract, but what's the respect if Shakur had to climb up in weight class to fight Teofimo? So you're saying that Teofimo Lopez gets brownies, gets respect because of somebody coming up to his weight class? That doesn't make sense. If anything, Shakur Stevenson should get the points regardless of the outcome from coming up in weight class because he's fighting a bigger fighter.
I believe Teo is going to be fed to dangerous opponents as well. I don't think they're going to give him the Steve Claggets and opponents like that anymore, which means more L's. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Teo retires soon, because
I think he should retire. After that performance, I haven't seen a performance like that since Errol Spence, ladies and gentlemen. When Errol Spence got his ass whooped, let me put that in the background. Yo, please let me know which one was. I think thus far, Errol Spence still was worse than Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. But yeah, it's somewhat still in that playing ground. But I'm gonna have to say the Errol Spence ass whooping was worse. Still.
I just feel like Teo mentally, he's not that strong. Like after that one fight when he said, man, do I still got it?
Yes, he's showing that he's mentally weak. And your father is exposing your secrets, talking about my son was looking at social media and, he's soft. And I was trying to tell him to be a man, but he didn't listen.
5 times, I think it is. And, I think he's ready to go to 147. You know what I'm saying? That he got beat up, man, that was a headbutt. And my son didn't get beat up, man. He went to 12 rounds with a good boxer. We were supposed to do different things in there, and that didn't work, and that happens. It happens to anybody, you know what I'm saying? All the greats have.
Beat Sandor Martin after it was announced that he won. He started crying like he won the Super Bowl. Like he had won a gold medal, like he had beat Floyd Mayweather or Terrence Crawford or Shakur Stevenson. Mentally, Teofimo Lopez is a weak person. So if he doesn't walk away from this sport, somebody is going to stop him or make him quit on the stool. I can guarantee you that. And as far as Teofimo Sr., man, he wasn't helping Junior at all. He's sitting over here saying, where's your power at, man? Where's your power? Hit him, man. Hit him. This sounds like the type of instructions they give in Rocky movies. Then he said to his son, you're going to hate yourself. That's what he said. After saying, hit him, man, why are you not hitting him? He said, man, you're going to hate yourself. So I guess he is hating himself.
I be trying to laugh with the bowl.
Yo, Teofimo Lopez, fire your father ASAP, bro. He didn't give you bro, what was the game plan? Talk about hit him hard, hit him. Hit him. No, you should have said, do not box a boxer. You got to make it a brawl. Gonna have to get close and get dirty. You're the bigger man, aren't you? Aren't you the bigger man? Why are you getting punked by? How are you getting punked by somebody smaller? You're letting his speed. You was fighting his fight. At some point, you're gonna have to change the atmosphere, change the politics. Something got to shake. You can't just continue getting hit by the jab. Round 1 to 12. Got some crazy work.
Bareheaded human sonic fox.
Right now, with all that envy and jealousy that he had for those quote-unquote black fighters that he said Top Rank can keep, which he was talking about fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Shushu and Keyshawn Davis, who all got knockouts on the undercard, and he was the one that lost to one of those black fighters he said that Top Rank can keep. Boy, it's funny how that boomerang come around, ain't it? All those fighters he was jealous of, he couldn't beat none of them, and he knew it. And it was further proven tonight. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to
Shakur Power. Oh, nice right by Shakur. That jab's still there in round 12. Very impressive.
A press conference where it seemed like Teofimo Sr. was doing his best to try to get you to commit to fighting the same way you did against Zepeda.
Truthfully, I fight whatever style to win. Whatever style comes up that I gotta win a fight is what I'm going to do. So I'm not worried about anything he's talking about. So I just hope they don't expect that version of me. Expect a better version of me come fight night, for sure.
What version of him do you expect?
I expect no version. It's the beauty about boxing. You can't expect any version on the fighter.
Or do you want to see him fight the way he did against Zepeda?
I want him to do what he believes is his greatest attribute. Do that.
He is statistically the best defensive fighter in boxing. What do you have to do to break that defense?
There's a lot of different ways to do it. And although some may think it's illegal, it's still legal. So it's just all about making sure that I practice it, you know.
Bruce
Lee mentions it. Bruce Lee mentions
Anything dirty will be reciprocated.
stylistically, when you see a fighter like him, it is not illegal to do certain punches and throw certain.
Start on the challenger side. Shakur Stevenson's been in boxing for a long time. He's had the same team alongside him for a long time as well. James attempting to win his fourth.
Well, I'm feeling great, but not only those 3 world championships, he won 2 amateur world championships.
He was talking to Jay.
I got some strategic questions for you. How are you feeling as he heads into attempting to win his fourth?
Well, I'm feeling great, but not only those 3 world championships, he won 2 amateur world championships.
He was talking to Jay.
I got some strategic questions for you, Wally. I wanted to hear what James has to say.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, pop, cocked, and loaded.
We got a long time to talk about this.
That's right. Well, for me, first of all, let me thank everybody that contributed to this great fight night, you know what I mean? Beginning with Turkey.
Why should you have to take the chances? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm bodying you. I'm winning. So that's just kind of getting greedy, so to speak. Right? Because he wasn't running. He was right in front of you. You know what I mean? So why should I have to take all these extra chances and concessions when T.O. is the one getting cooked? They didn't even read scorecards? I don't even think they read scorecards.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
In addition, I'm going to let the fans decide. Did everybody in here hear me say clear as day that I am picking Shakur to beat Teofimo? Yes or no? Did you guys hear me say that I was picking Shakur to beat Teofimo Lopez? Yes or no? The man talking about, oh, what do you have to say for yourself now, ego? I picked Shakur. Okay, so now block the guy. When you're great, like I am great at what I do.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Know when you done. People are missing over 100 likes. Smash the like button. Right? I ain't gonna lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on that Teofimo pack. Ladies and gentlemen, past the Teofimo Lopez pack. Link is going to be in the description to all the content creators' videos. Go ahead and subscribe to these platforms if you want to see the full length of these videos.
I don't really be into certain stuff, but Shakur fight kit was tough. The little embroidery joint he had, so it was a good look for him. Shakur needed a big name, and he got the name, and he dominated that name. And I always thought that Devin would fight Teo because of their background, but I'm not really interested in seeing Devin Teo now. Are y'all? All I want to see, and this pissed me off so bad yesterday, chat. Did Keyshawn call out Devin above his weight class, and then Shakur call out Conor Ben? Well, almost threw.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
I almost broke my damn TV yesterday watching them niggas dance around each other because we best friends.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
The haters have to lie. Hands put up or like his hands keep up. He's going to have to figure that out. So for that reason, because he's not getting the finishes, his style is not going to be for everybody. But I didn't have a problem with it. I thought he got off. He won every round. And that Roy Jones, the Floyds, that's what happens. They'll fight someone good. Roy Jones he's one of my favorite fighters. He got one of the best quotes where he's like, y'all keep saying I'm fighting nobody. It's not that I'm fighting nobody. They fight me, I make them look like nobody. I love that from Roy. I love that. Y'all saying I'm fighting nobody. Yeah, not that they not nobody. I make them look like nobody. That's the difference. So it's not like T.O. is a nobody or like don't try to switch it now and say he a horrible fighter and a bad fighter. None of that. He not a bad fighter. And had he been in there with somebody else, it probably wouldn't have looked like that. Shakur had his number. He did his homework, period. I told you, he had him looking like Goonies. And Tio gonna try to put up the black power fist. Bro, he beat him into black power. Tio went from ESPN can keep the blacks and monkeys and banana jokes and watermelon. And after Shakur beat the brakes off him, now you Fred Hampton. Now you Huey Newton. Peace to you, my brother. Nah, don't put that fist up now, Nick. Take that fist back down. Keep talking about black people now that you got whooped by one. You gonna try to put the fist. Y'all crazy, cuz. What's up with you, my good brother? You under dig? Nah, don't try to be down now. You Brandy now. I wanna be down with what you like. Nah, you ain't down. Don't try to be down now. Put that fist down. And then on top of that, do you see the status of the man's face? Y'all, bro, what I tell you? Hey, you guys, knot it up. You might as well move to England, Nottingham. Bro, send this boy to Nottingham because he knotted your up. My fair lady, we must go to Nottingham because Tio's head is been delivered to Nottingham. Bro, he lumped you like oatmeal and porridge. And he took you to, my fair lady, we will take you to Nottingham.
I might do something like this, but even this exceeded my expectations. You know, I thought it may be, if Shakur had a really good night, make it look easy and win 9-3, 10-2. This was 12-0, 11-1, and I mean, it was next level type stuff. Teo was trying everything. The various wrinkles to Shakur's style are unbelievable. I mean, I know people like to say he runs. That's because they don't understand what they're watching. I rarely, in my mind, have I ever seen Shakur literally run. Is he defensive? Yes, because he doesn't open up into crazy offensive routines. Okay, yes, so that makes him defensive, but he never really runs. He's a master of position. I'm always trying to talk about and explain to people that being a master of position is so important, you know, not breaking your position. And what I mean by that is when you make a defensive move, you're not all over the place, you know, to where now you can't punch off any move you make. You know, when your position is great, it doesn't necessarily mean you punch every time you make a defensive move, but every defensive move you make leaves you balanced enough and in a position enough to be able to punch if you want to, if you have the option to punch. And your opponent sees that, and that's why your opponent doesn't attack as aggressively, because sometimes they do get countered, sometimes they don't. You keep them guessing, but your position is always a position that you can punch off of. When guys aren't great at position, even when they make guys miss or whatever, they'll wind up in contorted position situations where we're not able to punch. That's not a really great defensive fighter, and a lot of times they wind up running and going to flight and so on and so forth. That leads to those kind of lapses where pressure fighters end up getting to guys. But even if you're not a huge puncher, if you're a master of position, you're always going to have the edge. It's just how much of a master are you going to be? Shakur is a next level master of position. He's a defensive specialist. I think the broadcast made a good point. He's more like Floyd Mayweather than he is Terence Crawford. Crawford was a little bit more offensive. All these guys, to be that good, you have to be a master of position regardless. But you know, he does strike me a little bit in the mold of a Mayweather in that effectiveness from the position game. First of all, that southpaw jab is something sick. I mean, he's got a really snappy, sharp southpaw jab. He throws it in various ways from various looks. He'll keep it in a shoulder roll look and throw it. He'll extend it. Sometimes he throws it short. Sometimes he'll extend it really hard and like turn his back into it and turn his shoulder into it. You know, kind of blade. And sometimes he'll throw it really short. He'll use it where he's stepping back and throwing it on a counter. He'll use it short and not have to extend it when he's just trying to pop you real quick. He gives you different guards, you know, different looks where the high guard, again, the shoulder roll guard, he spins and pivots really nicely. Nothing too crazy fancy. Like, for example, I don't think of him as fancy as, say, a Pernell Whitaker, but it's about just as effective because he's got that southpaw style and he's got that southpaw snappy jab. And it's not a violent jab. For example, like, I don't know, Hector Camacho had a pretty violent southpaw jab where it was like repetitive like a machine gun, you know? It's not like a machine gun southpaw jab, but it's a controlling, whipping southpaw jab, you know? And you don't always see that, you know? And sometimes when you see that, you see it from natural right-handers who are converted to southpaw. You think Holzbauer, maybe Chad Dawson. I'm not quite sure. I don't quote me on this. I don't think Shakur is a natural right-hander. I think he's a natural southpaw. So the fact that his jab is that snappy and that nice is it's really, really amazing. I mean, then again, Whitaker was also a natural lefty, and he had a nice snappy jab. But I think, you know, even Shakur has a nice little sharp right hook, which is like, these new age southpaws. They improve and they include a pretty good right hook as well. I thought that was what wound up cutting Teofimo Lopez on the eye, was a little sharp right hook. He throws it on a check a lot of times, but nonetheless he goes to the body with it. I've noticed that. The position game is sick, though, and what I mean, the different things I saw. Okay, sometimes Teofimo's throwing at him, and he holds position. He holds the high guard, and he makes Teofimo run into his body, and then he kind of bump Teofimo off. Sometimes Teofimo would attack, and instead of holding his position, Shakur would step back just out of range. And again, Teo would miss and then have to stop, because either he would get countered with something as simple as a jab, or he wouldn't get countered, but he realized he could be in position to get countered, so he'd stop. Why? Because sometimes Shakur would be countering from that position, and Teo knows it, so he knows it's not going to come out of pocket when he comes up short. Sometimes Shakur would roll and counter with the left uppercut, or left uppercut to the body, left uppercut to the head. There was one time early in the fight, I think he landed it where Teo's gloves may have touched the ground, you know. So that's another sense of position, a defensive move on position that he varied. When you hold your position well and then you vary the different things you do, and you're able to punch off those different things, again, it makes you even more confusing now, you know? And all the while, Shakur is jabbing. Shakur is using that jab, that speedy, accurate jab off those different looks. Like I said, sometimes it's off the high guard, sometimes it's off the low right hand guard, sort of like a shoulder roll, you know? There were moments in the fight where he was actually walking Teo down, especially late in the fight. He started walking Teo down more and more and more, just bossing the fight. And Teo was turning southpaw at times. He was, you know, trying to use that athleticism by, you know, trying to make all these little jukes and jives and then try to punch off them, you know. A couple of times I saw he just missed with a couple of counter right hands and a couple of tries. And maybe if those would have been shots that landed clean, which is almost impossible to land on Shakur clean. But sometimes he just missed it. But that's how good Shakur is, where he keeps just making you miss and you'll never actually get him. But it's like, oh, well, it was so close. I feel like if there was one or two times when Shakur could have landed those big right hands that he threw that he just missed, maybe it could have, you know, got the crowd into it or turned things around, you know, got the crowd engaged into believing that he might get there. You know, there was one round, I think 7 or 8, where Shakur was being backed up a lot more. He was kind of going into flight. Teo was targeting the body a lot more. But even then, I mean, when you target the body, you still got to deal with Shakur changing range on you. So, you know, he'll like I said, Shakur may hold the position game and sometimes just have that high guard and hold his position. There you can get this body. But then sometimes he's stepping back, steps just out of range, so you reach for his body. Even his body's not there, because again, it's the master of distance as well, and he slides the distance out, and when you wind up reaching, and then you wind up reaching and you wind up getting countered. So it's really, really becomes a difficult situation. There was a point Todd Grisham made, and I've heard this made before about defensive fighters. Well, what if you just stand in the middle of the ring and you don't chase them? And I'm not going to say that's ignorant, because, you know, I think people don't know any better, because I've heard this type of thing said for decades about certain kind of fighters. I remember people used to say it about me, you know, like, oh, why just wait for him in the middle of the ring and don't chase him? Here's why fighters like Shakur Stevenson will never fall for that, because they have a good jab. When you have a good jab, it's a master of distance. So here's the thing: if you're just gonna sit there and wait for a guy to come to you and not chase him and make him come to you because you want him to come forward, they'll just keep you on the end of the jab. Because a guy with a good jab knows how to throw a jab without stepping all the way in. Sometimes a guy with a good jab can shoot the jab right from where he's at and establish that distance and keep you at that distance. A guy with a good jab can step in if he wants to. A guy with a good jab can also jab stepping backwards when you try to close a gap yourself. So a guy with a good jab can jab from all distances, going forward, going backwards, and also from the position that he stands in without breaking that position at all, you know, without even coming forward or going backwards, you know. He can jab you right from where he's at. So therefore, if you don't go at a guy like that, he'll just beat you with a jab. You'll never get close enough. You'll never get there's nothing you're going to do. So the whole make a guy come to you. Don't do it. What if you don't do anything and make a guy come to you? Notice it never happens to guys like that. You notice that, people always imagine that, but it's like an imaginary solution that never actually happens. It never happens because when a guy's that good, he has a good jab too. So the jab, you'll just get beat on the jab. So you have no choice. You wind up having to go after him just to not get eaten up by the jab on its own, because then you make the night easy for the guy. So, so many variations and wrinkles to Shakur Stevenson. It really makes you curious about what's next. They were talking about Conor Benn after the fight. I think he got in the ring. I didn't even see the post-fight stuff. I heard Conor Benn got in the ring, which I think that's just like stealing the bank. It's basically minting money, because Conor Benn, I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he's world championship level. His one chance would have been if he would have got the Mario Barrios fight, who I think I still am shocked when I see that guy with a world title belt. But that's about to implode on him. He's going to lose to Ryan Garcia. And say what you want about Ryan, he still has world-class potential, even if he doesn't always show it. There's something world-class about him. So I don't think Conor could beat Ryan Garcia. I thought Conor's best chance would have been to, get the Mario Barrios fight. He might beat Mario Barrios. But being that Barrios is going to go the Garcia route, he'll lose that title there, in my opinion. I think most logical people's opinions. Maybe they send Conor Benn to the ring to, basically call out Shakur, deal with that. That's like minting money. That's just another different level completely. Conor Benn is not, to me, Conor Benn is just shy of world-class level. He's not, like I said, I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he or Eubank, they're basically UK creations, and that's because the UK is such an amazing fan base that even guys like that can, become, big names. You've got somebody like Derek Chisora, who's super, super exciting, mind you, but in America would have never become a star, no matter how exciting he was. So the UK fan base is a strong enough fan base to where guys like that become interesting, and I don't have a problem with that because all those kind of guys give you entertaining fights, including Conor Benn. But I just don't think Conor Benn and Shakur Stevenson is an entertaining fight. It's going to make Shakur go up another weight class because the fight would have to happen at 147, and I don't really necessarily trust that for Shakur because I think, he just got to 140, and I'm not sure he can grow into all these weight classes that fast. But the Conor Benn thing would be an exception because Conor is so many levels below him that, I don't think it would matter. I think they can make the fight at 160, and Shakur would beat him easily, I don't think he would stop him because Shakur doesn't have that kind of temperament, and Conor's a really tough guy, but he probably, it looks like they didn't belong in the ring with one another. I think it'll be a dumb fight. But there's a lot of money to be made, and people will be interested in it, especially right now. Conor's kind of hot, too, because he just come off the win over Eubank, and, he's a hot commodity. I did see him in the front row at the fight, too. So, yeah, if he got in the ring and they went about it that way, maybe it's something that could happen. Personally, I'd love to see Shakur go back to lightweight and, do what he's got to do at lightweight. But think about this. The Raymond Murataya fight is way more dangerous, way more of a fight fans fight, but probably pays a lot less. You can beat Conor Benn, who's several levels below Raymond Murataya, and get paid a lot more money. I hate to say it because I'm a genuine boxing fan and I want to see the genuinely best fights, but sometimes even I gotta say, man, it's the way it is. You gotta deal with it. So I could see Shakur and Conor Benn wind up against one another. And though it's not a fight that interests me, I can understand the logic of it as well. And unfortunately, that means somebody like Murataya would not be able to get Shakur. Interestingly enough, though, Murataya, if he's going to move up, I heard he had a big amateur rivalry with Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis looked very good tonight, beating Jermaine Ortiz. I heard he had a knock stoppage to the body, and Ortiz has never been stopped before. So that's sort of a feather in Keyshawn Davis's hat too. I have not seen the fight, so it's one of those things I'll probably talk about this week on Combat and Coffee, as well as the Xander Zayas fight, and Shushu Carrington winning a championship. I didn't realize that fight was for a world title. I was told that fight was for a world title. I knew Carrington was getting close to the title. I did not realize that this fight was for the title. Was it a full title or was it an interim title, guys? Let me know in the comments because I didn't know. Like I said, I was not up to date on these fights tonight because I was working myself.
He took you to Nottingham. He said, we don't want Tio in English. Shout out to my British fans. That was funny. He said, we don't want him in Nottingham. Well, Tio, he took him to Knott's Berry Farms. We'll just say that. I'm from California. So, can I say that? He took him to Knott's Berry Farm. He took him right there and punished the boy. He just had Tio looking bad. Tio was punching fresh air. all night, fresh air. Shakur the magician Stevenson had the man punching oxygen. Williams to pay the fight, now that we've seen it, that definitely was harder than that. Somebody said it was not a good night for Teo. Silly Teo. It was not. Bro, do you see how you spell not? That man said it was not a good fight. It was not a good night. Bro, I know y'all see how the man spelled not. Because Shakur put that not on his head. Silly rabbit. You're not going to win. Bro, it was not a good night for the man. He got cooked. What y'all want me to say? And then funny thing is, Tio was like, I want the Latino flag. All right, after that performance, enjoy. Yeah, don't use the American flag. We don't want you. Hey, block Andy Zuba. You a bum. I'll make more than you and your parents. Bro, I wake up when I want, I do what I want, and I make more than you and your parents. How about that? Yeah. See, now y'all gonna really make me flex. I make more money than you and your parents. How about that? How you like them apples? Yo, that was not a good joke. Pay your rent. That's all I gotta say. Anyway. See, the money keep. I didn't know you like to get wet though. Sherm, Dust, PCP, Primo. Shushu's fight, it was cool. It was a good stoppage. Keyshawn fight under-delivered for me, and I didn't like the stoppage. And then the Gerald Miller fight, don't get me started on that. Bro, the man wig blew off. You know, back in the day, like in the 90s.
Ladies and gentlemen, yo, imagine your hair being passed around like a blunt when it's supposed to be on your head. How did this happen? Never have I witnessed somebody's hair being passed around. Crazy work. Let's go into the content.
And someone be like, man, you a buster. You a mark. I'm going to split your wig. Bro, remember when they was out there in there and they was like, man, you will get your wig split, mark, right? Bro, the man really got his wig split. His hair fell off.
What?
Bro, y'all think I'm joking or whatever. The man whole head hair popped off. The Soda Popinski. Bro, come on, cuz when you ever seen the moon roof?
That's crazy work, ladies and gentlemen.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
You get punched so hard your hair falls. Oh, yo, is that Velcro? This man has Velcro toupee. At this point, man, just go bald, bro. Like, let it go. If you got a super glue hair into your head, man, come on, my guy.
Bareheaded human sonic fox.
Like, bruh. Hold on, man. We're gonna have to hold this man accountable, bro. Black History Month, bro. This how we starting our Black History Month. Crazy work.
Human sonic fox. Bareheaded human sonic fox.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
Oh, like in a fight, and then somebody's head popped off. Bro, do you see the wig being pushed back? I know y'all see that, bro. It literally, like, what was using? You better get some Gorilla Glue. You was using Velcro? What is that?
What?
I ain't never, Bro, pull up to the scene with a silly missing. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah. Pull up to the scene with a silly missing. Bro, you got the 2 Chainz wig split. Pulled up and the roof gone. Bro, you pulled up and the roof was gone. I ain't never seen no heavyweight fight where you came in with a Caesar and you look like Tony Soprano by the end of it. Man, y'all talking about this was...
He said Tony Soprano.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
A 10 out of 10 card. But he looking like the dad on Clueless. Man, come on, bro. He got that Looney Tunes. Bro, you know how Looney Tunes when when Wile E. Coyote accidentally like goes and touch a stick of dynamite and his head blow off. Bro, he got the Looney Tunes when he touched the Acme explosives. Bro, he got the Acme haircut. Come on, bro. He didn't touch the Acme dynamite. Bro, get this off of broadcast, dog. I ain't never seen it. They look like twins, bro. This Gemini man. Bro, how y'all both bald by the end of the night? This the new Gemini man with Will Smith. Hell nah. Y'all talking about, oh, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, okay, 10 out of 10, but the head got blowed off. Somebody said he got a halo ring. What's the front part though? Like, your barber is petty as hell. Why he leave that little front end? Like, why he leave the little bags up front? Bro, I'll slap fire. Listen to me. I don't think y'all hear me well. If my barber left that little quail front piece, I'm slapping fire about you. Why is this little quail bangs? Why was you Fernando Vargas on the Dead Homies? Bro, why you leave that? That was so unnecessary. There's no way that, like, okay, you try to glue down a toupee or whatever. Okay, cool. But there's absolutely no way on God's green earth that remnants of carpet or whatever that is needed to be there, bro. I will sue my barber. Get my lights up, bro. Y'all talking about it's a 10 out of 10 card. People's hair don't even stay on. Bro, he literally punched hair off the man. Bro. I ain't gonna throw it in the crowd. That's like low-key kind of dirty. I don't know where y'all from. Maybe I'm a germaphobe. It's bad when like Shakur and Keyshawn and stuff, they can't have no interview without cussing a bunch, right? I understand they're younger than me, but
how the hell you gonna call out Devin? So the 2 niggas who looked good last night, who basically fighting the same weight class, avoided each other? If yes, type yes. That grinds my gears. That grinds my gears. The 2 dudes who look good. Somebody type me a message. Champs out, I see why you want to see Shakur Keyshawn. Well, duh. But nope. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
For some reason, the game plan, my son didn't do what I told him he was supposed to do. His rhythm was supposed to be different, where we were supposed to stop Shakur from doing whatever Shakur does best. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to him for winning. You know what I'm saying? But that was not my son in there. I think probably the networks and everybody, the media, everything leading up to this fight, everybody already talking that already about Shakur fighting in May, where the winner was supposed to go fight in May, against whoever it was. So I think that probably got to him, you know what I'm saying? People talking about me being drunk, all that stuff, when he went to the press conference and I wasn't there, I didn't show up because I was resting. And I think all that affected him in this fight, Like a lot of people say, my son is like mentally like easy to, mess with. And how you gonna fight, a fight when everybody wants you to lose? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened. It just looked like all his powers were not there. Like everything was like that we planned, everything that he did in sparring, everything that we planned to do was not there. His power was not there. I was in shock, man. And I think this a lot of this has to do with everybody not wanting him to win. You know what I'm saying? There was not one person talking good about him. You know what I'm saying? So, that has to stop. In this planet, this world, that's why we have this sport. The best man has to win, and nobody knows who's winning unless, you know what I'm saying? The average person could have an opinion, you know what I'm saying? But when you have all the networks saying that my son's gonna get his ass whooped, that that every time my son.
Leading up to the fight, you said if they want the black fighters, they can keep them. Why did you say that?
Huh?
Why?
It's just a biased part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it. Because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing others. I believe the commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters.
Off the record.
No, it's not off
No,
the
man,
record.
keep
It's
this
off the record.
You wake up, bro.
I don't think any.
Say that.
Don't get into that, bro.
Wait, let me.
Don't fall into this.
I'm not falling into it.
Brothers, talk about the fight.
I'm talking about
go.
No, then let me let it go. Let me let it go.
Hold up.
Let it be. What are you scared of? Stop being a about it and handle it like a man.
Social media talking bad about him, it's not right. It's not right. That got to change. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna prepare him. Maybe he's not ready. He's been 5 years without losing. He's defended his 140 weight title and his lenient belt. I think 5 times. I think it is. And I think he's ready to go to 147. You know what I'm saying? That he got beat up. Man, that was a headbutt, and my son didn't get beat up, man. He went to 12 rounds with a good boxer. We were supposed to do different things in there, and that didn't work, and that happens. It happens to anybody, you know what I'm saying? All the greats have lost, and they have.
Teofimo Lopez, please dismiss your father as your head coach. This man just said you didn't get beat up. Stop the cap. The whole world saw your ass get beat up, except for your father. At some point, love is blind. So love is blind, and you're telling your mind. Yo, love is blind, and he can't see that his own son is getting his ass dog walked all over the ring.
Have come back and they have done great. So, we're here and we're gonna stay. He's still 28 years old. He's still not in his prime, and we're coming back stronger than ever. Next time I think he's ready to go to 147.
What were you saying to him in between rounds to try and get him to change the fight?
What we did in sparring, what he was doing in sparring, and for some reason he wasn't doing it, and that's why I was very upset. And I think we hurt Shakur, like I think in the 8th round.
Stop it. Get some help.
When did you never hurt the man? Stop the cap. So your son didn't get abused or dog walked. Your son came in there with one game plan, and he didn't have a plan B or plan C. He just was a witness, a bystander to a masterclass. So once again, Teofimo, please dismiss your head coach as your father.
Arnold, I got another question for you. People know
Nobody
about
racist
him
over here, man.
before they've known
Pick up
about
a banana
you.
for me. Hey,
People
don't worry
know
about it, bro.
about
Hey,
that.
don't worry about it. I got him. Don't worry about it, bro. I got him. Don't worry about it. May 2nd, show up. Show up. And I'm
John, okay. Shakur Devin wouldn't sell everybody. Okay, you trolling today. I see. You ain't got nothing to do.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
You got to level up your speech. Level up your speech to the point where you can two, his pure raw boxing only fundamental ring IQ skill is not on par with Shakur's, right? So what happens more often than not in these matches is the person with the higher boxing academics, not like scholastic, I graduated. The higher boxing academics usually will prevail, except in extraordinary cases where one punch they get caught with something and knocked out. You know, it can happen. But for me, in these fights, it's very easy to see more often than not, the person with the higher boxing ceiling and fundamentals, like Antonio Tarver. That's why the first fight with Roy almost didn't win it. Go back and watch it. Me and my brother watched that live, right? We've been involved in watching boxing and doing this, right? It's just y'all didn't know about it. The first Roy Tarver, he almost lost that one. So in the second one, Tarver is an Olympian. He got the fundamentals. Roy, one, he made the mistake of heavyweight going back down to light heavy or whatever. So you depleted your body. In addition, you're getting older. So if you lose a step, anybody who relies on sheer athleticism, speed, power, they don't have as long in the sport of boxing. The only time it'll work is if you adjust and adapt your style as you get older with the sport, and you all of a sudden get super gung ho and start learning fundamentals. But usually by that, when the special effects wear off, you're already cooked. Your body's already been through mad camps and punishment. You might have lost a time or a few times. You're not as fast, father time. You know what I mean? So almost all the time in these matchups, the technical guy, even with Errol Spence, I thought Errol Spence X factor still in his size was enough for Crawford, but no, it wasn't. Crawford being ambidextrous, higher like ring IQ, fast, quickness, reaction, cooked Errol. And I like both fighters. I like Crawford. I like Errol. So these fights, this was not a hard fight for me. Now, I will be honest, even though I got this 100% right, we'll say 99% right. I do think like it wasn't out for me. It wasn't out. I knew Shakur would win, but it wasn't out of the question that Teo would have moments in the fight. Like I was not of the belief that Teo couldn't have spots, but Shakur even impressed me in that regard because Teo didn't even have like one moment for me. Like I thought there could be some ish moments like, okay, that one punch Teo landed was really nice, but he didn't really have many of those moments for me. So Shakur, he exceeded my expectations, even though I was already picking him. That's how boxing works. So good on Shakur. He deserves his victory. He's a ring champion, new weight class, whatever belt, WBO or whatever. He deserves it. Now let's see what's next for him. I mean, I'm not opposed to the Conor Ben thing. They got to figure out the weight, but whatever. I could tell, listen to my watch party. I could tell Teo was off to a bad start. Like the way the fight started, I could tell it wasn't getting good. You know, this was kind of like Devin Haney and Brian Norman, similar. You got a guy who's fast, athletic, and they work against Jin Saki or whatever, Suzuki. But against Devin, someone with a higher ring IQ, you can't get all the moves off like you normally do. Hey, we should be over 800 likes. What's up with that? I gave y'all a full length stream. Can we get that right? Can we please get that right? I don't know what's going on. Hey, and to the people watching on Twitter, that watch me on Twitter, can y'all come to the YouTube video? Because what happens is y'all be on Twitter and y'all too lazy to come to the actual video to like it. If you like it on Twitter, it don't do nothing to the actual video, who you want to give credit to instead of the person that deserve it. He takes risks, unlike your boy Devin and Shakur. Why? See that I could already tell what type of time you on. Why you got to be my boy? Second, he take risks. Okay, what does that mean? Shakur didn't take risks moving and fighting a champion in his first fight. Block them. You sound stupid, bro. I don't even know why. He talking about he takes risks. So Shakur has brittle hands, the hands that break, right? And he's moving from 35 to 40. Block corner talk. Yeah, we gonna see who's stupid. That's why nobody watch our YouTube channel. How about that?
He was hurt for about 2 rounds, and he let him come back. You know, the whole plan was not to exchange with him. The whole plan was not to box with him. But I guess, you know, it worked to Shakur's benefit, and congratulations to him and to his team. And we got to move to better things, you know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. You know, a lot of great fighters have lost 8 times, and you know, it's not, my son is not 40 years old or 30 or 48 years old, so we still got a lot more to do, you know. Go to 147 and fight the best at 147.
One more question for me.
Yeah.
How is Teofimo doing right now?
The what?
I care about you. I care about your son. So I'm asking, how is Teofimo doing right now?
Oh, he's doing great. Everything's fine. You know, it's not like he got knocked out or whatever it is. You know,
more so mentally.
Mentally, of course he's gonna be all right. He wasn't okay the whole week. You know what I'm saying? I think like for about 2 or 3 weeks he wasn't okay because everybody was talking really bad about him. You know, that's gotta stop. You know, and I think.
Oh my God, everybody was talking about my son. Oh my God, you guys stop bullying my son. My son's a fighter and he's getting bullied. You're affecting his mental health. Mental health is real. He's very emotional. You can't talk about him. You can't critique him. He was so stressed out.
I be trying to laugh with the bros.
I think that it was a plan that worked, you know, because they know that my son sometimes takes everything serious, you know, and that's why he was talking the way he was talking, the press conference, you know, talking about a lot, you know, bad things and stuff like that. I told him to stop doing that, you know, but when you talk bad about your father, you know, that affects a lot. It affects a kid. It affects like somebody that you love, you know what I'm saying? And that gotta stop, you know. My son is fine. We're gonna go right now, have something to eat, you know, enjoy ourselves, regroup, and come back. He's the greatest. He's one of the greatest fighters right now in the business. And
on tape and on film, it was all in front of me tonight, and there is benefits from watching tape.
When we saw Conor Bain in the ring with you and the idea of you two fighting, for British fans, it would come as a bit of a curveball. You now have 4 different weight world titles, and Conor's not boxed for a world title yet. What's going on between you two? Why is that a fight that you like?
I'm into big fights. I like big fights. I like big money fights. I like proving that I'm the best, and I like doing things that people say I can't do. There's a lot of people that will say that I'm too little for Conor Bain, and I can't do it. So it makes for a tremendous fight.
And Eddie mentioned that there's quite a few that DMs go back and forth between you two. Is it all amicable? Is there a bit of aggro going on?
It's gonna be a good beef. I like the beef. I like the story behind it, and it's a tremendous fight.
Yeah, excuse me. Just. Yeah. Shakur, Kevin Garcia. I just wanted to follow up on the Conor Bain conversation. I saw him after the fight, and I just asked him, I said, hey, would you agree to that rehydration clause? And he said, F no. So my question for you is, how does that fight get made then?
If he's not going to agree, then we probably don't fight. So he's just wasting time. We'll see. But I'm a businessman at the end of the day, and like I said, he did a rehydration clause with Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank was in the ring half dead. Why can't he do the same thing?
Shakur, with Terrence Crawford having retired and you winning the way you won tonight, do you feel like you are the face of boxing right now?
For sure, for sure. I just stayed steady. I told everybody my moment was gonna come. I've been calling people out, and Tio took the bait. Finally, somebody took the bait. I've been begging for this moment, and we finally got it.
Hey, Shakur, congratulations. Great performance. This is Vince, the writer. Early in the week, I wrote an article about comparing this fight because I kind of thought this fight would go this way, and I compared it to Mayweather when he fought Gotti. And I thought that was Mayweather's defining moment to turn from a star to a megastar. Do you think this is your defining moment?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that was the moment. It was two young fighters in there. It wasn't an old, washed-up guy. It was a 28-year-old fighter. I'm 28 myself, and Tio's actually younger than me. So for me to go up another weight class and beat him and take his belt, it was a tremendous thing tonight.
Right here. Shakur, you were able to immediately utilize your jab and control the ring in the early rounds of the fight. How important was it for you against a guy like Teofimo to be able to control those first few rounds and take the lead early on?
Like I said, I watched the tape. I also told my team before the fight, I said they're going to say I got one of the best jabs in the world tonight. And tonight I went out there and I just used my jab over and over and made it a weapon, and he couldn't stop it. And for the future young fighters that's coming up behind me, the jab is one of the most important punches, and I hope that they add that to their games too.
All right, and heading into fight week, many people have been calling you this generation's Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel about that comparison?
I'm the first Shakur Stevenson, but Floyd Mayweather's my guy. He called me right before the fight. He always texts me. He told me that he was proud of me before the fight happened. So Floyd is my family. I got a lot of love for Floyd, but I'm the first Shakur Stevenson.
Any more questions?
All right, Shakur. So now that you checked off, I guess, a quote-unquote star, a big name. I mean, Valdez was a big name at the time, but Tio's is a big name. Now that you checked that off the box, what's really next for Shakur Stevenson? You know what I'm saying? You're the lineal ring champion at 140. You're the champion with 35. You got options. Like, what's up?
I can't tell you right now. I got to go back to the drawing board, and I got to get in front of my management team and let them see who is going to bring the biggest money fight, and even the legacy. Somebody that's going to bring a legacy defining fight, and I think that's what matters next. I have nobody. Nobody. The only person who could bring out the best Shakur Stevenson is me.
Okay, two more. Shakur's had a long night. Two more questions.
Shakur, I did see Terrence Crawford with a big smile ringside as you were beating up on Teofimo. You know, you have the likes of Andre Ward, Clarissa Shields, Terrence, obviously, and Mayweather backing you up. Do you feel like, you know, at this time, it was almost like a collective win for not just you, but your team as well, after all the, you know, shit-talking that Teofimo did to not just you, but everybody in your team?
Yeah, I got the last laugh tonight. Like I said, I appreciate Floyd, Clarissa, Bud, Andre Ward. I'm glad to have these relationships in boxing. I'm glad to be able to call them and pick their brains and get better at my own craft. So shout out to them. Shout out to my guy, Eddie Hearn. He's been supporting me from the jump. He's a real promoter, and he's probably one of the best promoters in boxing. So like I said, I appreciate everybody.
Shakur, now you've answered all the real questions and you've made another huge purse. Could you help Jarrell Miller out with a new wig?
He took it off tonight, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Last one.
Last one, guys.
Thanks. Shakur,
it would be a huge fight if you went to the UK. If the Conor Ben fight could be made, if he agreed to the rehydration clause, all those things, you would go there for a stadium fight?
I don't never negotiate against myself, so we'll see what happens at the negotiation table, and I'll let my management team handle that.
Josh?
Yes.
What's the question? What do you guys
About going to the U. My management team handle it. About going to the UK. Was that an option for you guys to fight Conor Ben?
If the money is right. If the money is right, and he, I mean, the rehydration clause tells you everything you need to know. He's just in there bullshitting and trying to get a headline on his big night. I thought the whole thing was the same kind of clown nonsense that Teofimo did all week. But listen, if the money's right, and His Excellency and Rick and everybody at the ring, look. The one thing about Shakur is since he's 19 years old, he's been asking for the best fighters in the world. Teofimo was just the first one to say yes, so he'll fight anyone, but it's gotta make sense, not just financially, but he's not going to put himself at an unnecessary risk. But yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was an absolute masterclass from Shakur Stevenson.
Happens, in the future, and try to get one of the best fights out there.
Respect to you, respect to your son.
He came back, he had a loss. He came back strong. He did great things, and he'll do the same thing again.
Bias, part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it, because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters. No, it's not off the record. Keep this on the record.
Teofimo Lopez, fire your father as your head coach. Once again, he could be a supporter from the sideline, but I think you outgrown your father, and it's time to part ways because you left the ring looking like the episode in Martin when he was facing Tommy Hearns. There's no excuse for you to lose like that, and Shakur Stevenson jumped up in weight class to fight you, but you look like the little dude in the ring. But you're supposed to be bigger than Shakur, so how does that work out? I'm just trying to put two and two together, ladies and gentlemen. 2026 in boxing, Shakur Stevenson pulled down the draws of Teofimo Lopez and bit him over from round 1 to round 12. Pause. Whoa! That's how you start off the year. Absolute masterclass. Once again, it's equivalent to a no-hitter in baseball. Let me know your take in the comment section of this fight. Also, subscribe to this platform. It's been your boy. I'm out of here.
You wake up, bro. I don't think any. Say that. Don't get into that, bro.
Wait, let me.
Fall into this.
I'm not falling into it.
Brothers, talk about the fight.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about my.
Motherfuckers ain't in love with the game. Y'all don't respect the